this particular work marks an interesting acknowledgement of a kind of return to painting, because I've been involved in digital art since 1993, but I've kept painting. And then my lovely partner Bernadette, who is filming me at the minute, and one of my best friends said, "But you're trained as a painter, you should be painting." And I've been painting. I came out of Chelsea School of Art in London, but before I came to Australia, I had this vision of hanging out in coffee bars, chatting to Aboriginal artists and sort of talking about cultural values and learning about their ideas. But of course, coming over here, that doesn't really happen very much. And then I had the opportunity to meet Alan Kelly from the Geraldton group. I don't know if you know his work, but the Geraldton artists were trained by
Reverend White.
That's right. Yeah, and they were taught to draw and paint as Europeans. And we put on the first show that we had in our little gallery up in Mindarie, down in Perth. We put Alan on and Charlie Colbon, and it was really delightful talking to Alan about his work. And then we went down to Geraldton and saw the place, which was quite distressing. It's quite an interesting pilgrimage. I could recommend people to go and view that. It's quite sobering. And this particular work, we went up to Broome, and I realised that Jackson's was selling raw pigment by the kilo, and that they could transport it from Broome to Perth for nothing. I mean, they didn't charge you, so you could order these lovely pigments from Broome, and they'd say, "Oh, let's go and pick them up next week." I thought, fantastic. And so these had been hanging around in the studio for a while, and then I thought, I should use them. And I had these boards. This particular thing had started off just with white. And the longer I started to sort of meditate on this, the more I realised that what I was doing. So I created this border out of masking tape, which goes back to when I was trained, which was in field painting, which I rebelled against when I was a Calais youth. And then I wanted to put the ochre, the ochres on there. And then I thought, am I allowed to? Being a sort of white walla. And then I thought, well, I should be able to do that. Because I used to mix up my own paints in London, so it wasn't it. And I had this big argument in my head about Seurat and dot painting that I'm still trying to sort of come to terms with. But anyway, well, anyway, this came together, and it kind of just screamed at me. There were about another 5 that are going on in the same vein, but this one really jumped out, and I liked it just because of this notion of this kind of this field of ochre, and then this white defined area which is masked within this kind of ground, and it just sort of seemed very simple and very poetic, and acknowledged kind of surrounding, but I should shut up if anybody has anyone.
What strikes me about this work is that it's a sense of scale. It's a small work, and then you do get that sense, I do anyway, of that massiveness of it, if you like. And yet it's such a small work. I'm not sure how you achieved that, or whether it was by design or accident. I'm not sure.
No, it is by design, yeah. Because the white there's a few of them.
Yeah.
And being a kind of digital kind of freak that I am, I have a few friends from my old network. So I send off images of them in progress and just go, what do you think? And I actually have a friend who does the reviews for Socialist Worker newspaper in London. He does the arts reviews there, and he sent back this really poetic kind of analysis of this particular one before this was on it, and so that was kind of interesting, because we were just kind of like, so we're having sort of like have international art talks over the internet on it. Not often. Mostly I just leave them hanging around for months and just sort of ponder them. Because if you do very much to it, you can mess it up. I know that there are several artists in here that were have exactly that feeling. Like you have to be. It's better just to leave them, you know, until you don't care. I know that sounds weird. Yeah. Any other
questions?
Just a comment, because colour field painting is about the viewer being immersed in the colour field, and your small scale and the little sort of taped off area, in a way you've got the red pigment, which is the Kimberley dirt, but in a way you've blocked people from experiencing as a colour field, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So in a way it's like you've blocked out the Western history,
but
still referred to it.
That's
just treat yourself,
brilliant. Thank
which is
you.
really nice.
That's so nice to have someone see it. Yeah. That's what I mean. That's why I kind of thought, am I able to do this? You know, because it was, am I allowed? And it's lovely that it's here with these guys.
Yes.
Because that's very sensitive. Because I kind of that's exactly what it's about. And I've been looking at small paintings a lot, because there's a lot of big paintings around. So I always do things that are unfashionable. Otherwise, you're competing all the time. So I'd rather not compete. I'd rather just do. So that's really lovely. Yeah, I like that idea of, because I've got the other pigments as well. I like the idea of them being denied as well as being there, because that's what's gone on, and that's what's continuing to go on. That they're there, but they're being constrained, or it is constrained.
So last night it grabbed my attention, but I didn't know the story. I just could see what was there.
Yeah.
And it set it into a collection of paintings I've seen and own. So your story just confirms some things that I was feeling because of the proximity and knowing that something about the redness, but I didn't know it was ochre from the Kimberley, which is very interesting. So it's a very strong painting, but a small painting making a small statement, which is in fact a big statement. So thank you. It's very interesting.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon.
No worries.